Hello, hello. What's going on, Wired fam? Long time no talk. I don't know how long it's been since we done a live, but it's been a minute. No reason really, other than been very busy. Have been coaching my son's little league baseball team. That's been fun. And we were practicing every Wednesday night, so that's pretty much why I hadn't been here in the last few weeks, because we've been doing baseball, and then we've been having to get home, get cleaned up, get in bed. That's the hard part. Baseball is easy. I can do baseball. But getting home, getting showered, getting in bed, and getting to sleep is a different story. So we've been doing baseball for the last couple weeks, but we've gotten well into the season, and we've cut back a little bit on the boys, trying to let them have some breaks in between games. So we are not practicing anymore on Wednesday nights. So we're going to get back to the lives, and that's enough about baseball tonight, because we're not here to talk baseball. We are here to talk crappie fishing. I am excited. I'm super, super excited to talk to you guys tonight, because we have a lot to talk about, and we have a lot coming up here in the near future. So getting back into the quote unquote crappie season. Okay. And when I say crappie season, I mean tournament season. Tournaments are kicking back off this month. So East Tennessee Crappie Club is kicking off again here September the 17th, I think it is, something like that, on Fort Loudon Lake. So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to another good year with East Tennessee Crappie Club. We're going to talk a little bit about last year's East Tennessee Crappie Club here in just a little bit, because we got something to show you guys from last year. And let's see, what else do we have coming up? We've got, by the way, when you get on, drop me a hello, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. I always like to say hello to you guys, and we're going to do some hellos, because I hadn't helloed you guys here in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to say our hellos. Make sure you say hello in the comment section. Make sure you tell me where you're from. We always like to see where we're reaching out to. And I always like to say hello to you guys, okay? Make sure you drop that comment. I'm getting some comments, but they're not coming in for some reason. There's a few come through. Todd Pale, good evening from Beaver Creek, Ohio. What's going on, Todd? Joseph Thaxton from Macon, Georgia. What's up? What's up? Bid Kid from Missouri. What's going on? Crappie Kev. What's going on? Jimmy Pratt, the Jimmy Pratt in the house. Jimmy's been on Loudon pre-fishing. He's trying to get ready for this tournament we're getting ready to have. David Smith, hello from Crossville. Hello, hello. Keats says, howdy, Matt. Howdy, howdy. Thought on the ACT sale once again. What you talking about, Sean? Am I missing something? ACT sale. I don't know. All right, Sean, Kentucky Lake, what's going on? Rusty Prophet in the house. What's going on, Rusty? Ronnie Harris, good evening from Carrollton, Georgia. Good evening, sir. Misty Martin from Crappie Cove. Guys, Misty Martin in the house. Misty, what's up? Guys, if you don't know who Misty Martin is, that is your contact at Crappie Cove, okay, in Maryville, Tennessee. If you have ever shopped at Crappie Cove or have ever called Crappie Cove, then you have probably talked to Misty, okay? So welcome, Misty. What's going on? Hope you're doing well down there at Crappie Cove, selling all that good stuff down there. If you don't know or haven't ever been to their website, you should check them out, okay? Wired discount down here in the bottom of the screen. Wired discount will save you 10% at Crappie Cove on all your products at Crappie Cove, and that includes ACC rods. So go to crappiecove.com, check them out, and save yourself some money, guys. And talk to Misty and tell her that Wired sent you when you called. And like I said, you'll get that 10% discount. Kurt Day, hello from Mitchell, Indiana. What's going on, Kurt? Eddie Toon from Leesburg, Tennessee. What's going on, Mr. Eddie? Whoopsies. I done messed something up. John McMillan from North Carolina. What's going on, John? Steven from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Hello, hello. Great to see you guys too, man. It really is. I apologize. I have missed the last little bit. Like I said, I've been doing some coaching of Little League baseball teams. So we've been hitting the practices hard. We actually had a game last night. Won that game 14-7. So we did pretty well last night. I had an 8-year-old hit a homer out of the park last night. It was pretty phenomenal. Not only out of the park, but I mean like didn't even have a thought of staying in the park. So that was pretty cool. Not very often an 8-year-old hits it out of the park, but he did. It was pretty neat. So anyway, we're back. We are back. We don't have any more Wednesday practices on schedule, and I'm not scheduling anymore. Okay. So we are back. We're going to start hitting the lives hard on Wednesday nights again. And like I said, we got a big schedule coming up. We got East Tennessee Crappie Club kicking off. We got the Midwest Crappie Alliance Invitational in November. That's coming up. I know there's something else. I've been invited to a Russ Bailey event in October, Veterans Tournament. Obviously, you guys know I'm a veteran, and I would love to make it up to Ohio for that tournament, but I don't know if I'll make it. So, but I was invited to that, and I don't know. Again, we'll see. So, between East Tennessee Crappie Club and that Midwest Crappie Alliance, I'm just about, plus all the guide trips I have booked, the electronics trips I've booked, and then all the boats that I've got in for Wired Marine, electronics installs, and we are now doing motor maintenance as well. So we're servicing motors as well. And it's getting really busy. This time of year, it gets really, really busy. You got a lot of people that are putting boats up for the season that got maintenance and stuff going on. Then you got a lot of guys getting them out for the season like I am. So real busy right now. Have been fishing some, but not as much as I'd like to, again, with baseball. But we are going to hit it hard this weekend. That's for sure. I'm going to be on the lake this weekend, trying to get back in the swing. I've been fishing Teleco. I've been catching a lot of fish, anywhere from 15 to 20 feet. Okay. Teleco stays cooler in the summer. Teleco is fed mostly out of the mountains, so Teleco Lake stays a little bit cooler than some of the other lakes in East Tennessee, and it holds fish in that 15 to 20 foot range on brush around the main river channel. Still kind of a summer pattern right now. Been catching a lot on the pumpkin and chartreuse stump bug, which again, if you did not see that video, the only place you can get that pumpkin and chartreuse stump bug is Crappie Cove. They are literally the only one that has the bonehead tackle stump bug in pumpkin and chartreuse. So, or they call it grasshopper. Okay. So if you're looking for the grasshopper stump bug, you have to get those at Crappie Cove. Okay. They are literally the only place in the country that you can buy them. You can't even buy them straight from bonehead. Okay. You can only get them at Crappie Cove. So I've been using that. And then I've been using also a slick neon has been a good color for me. It generally is. Slick neon generally is a really good color during the summer. I don't know what it is about summer. I think a lot of times in that late summer where there's not a whole lot of rain in East Tennessee, we kind of get some of those droughts, those long periods that we don't have that rain. That water gets really super clear, and that slick neon kind of tones down the chartreuse because it's neon green instead of a chartreuse. So it kind of tones down that chartreuse a little bit. It's a little more, I guess, a little easier on the eye for the fish. And then also you've got that monkey milk body. If you know what monkey milk is, it's kind of that clear body. So I think it has a lot to do with it. The water clears up a lot in that mid to late summer because we don't get a whole lot of rain, and when we do, it's not a day or day and a half worth of rain. It's just showers coming through and doesn't muddy the water up. So the water gets super clear, and it's a great summer color. Okay. Let's see here. Say some more hellos. David, hello from West Helena, Arkansas. What's going on, David? Get a limit outdoors. Boomer sooner. What's going on? Welcome. AP from Minnesota. Hello. Sean Bradford was bought out by Blake Jackson today. ACT? Yeah. Um, That's probably the ACT was bought out by Blake Jackson. Yes, every trail has been bought out by Blake Jackson. Crappie USA, Crappie Masters, and ACT are all owned by Blake Jackson now. And I probably am not the best one to speak on that subject. Okay. Um, I personally know Blake. I've had dealings with Blake in the past, and um, I wish everybody the best. Okay. I hope everybody well. I hope that the trails stay intact. I think that well, that's a whole nother subject that I'll get into in a minute. But I wish the trails the best. I wish Blake the best, and I hope that that everything stays intact, and that crappie fishing at its core remains what it's always been. Right? Crappie fishing at its core, pre-live scope, was about the solidarity and was about the joy of fishing and was about, you know, a brother and a sisterhood, if you will. It wasn't cutthroat. It wasn't, um, super competitive. It wasn't. I mean, look, I'm competitive as they come, but if somebody calls and asks me for help, it's hard for me not to help them. Okay. Now, Jimmy and some of the guys that I fish tournaments with are gonna be like, "Yeah, right. You don't help me." Well, that's because now that's not completely true. I do help you guys. But there's a lot of times where I show that tough love too, and I make you learn it on your own, right? So, you know, I think that it'll be fine. I think he'll probably make some changes. I think some of the trails will change slightly. I hope that they don't. There's not a major shift, but we'll see. Um, am I optimistic about it? Yeesh. Am I concerned about it? Yeah. Am I excited about it? No, but I don't participate in those trails. Um, and a lot of the reason that I don't participate in those trails, I won't get into. But first and foremost, I have a wife and 3 kids, and I can't run all over the country at the moment. Okay. If I could, I would. But right now, I can't. So, maybe when my kids get a little older and they get moved out, then we'll start fishing a national trail. But right now, my wife and my kids need me more than a national trail needs me. So um, that is my choice. And that's probably where I'll be for the next little bit. But I do hope that, like I said, I wish them the best. I wish Blake the best. And I wish those trails the best for sure. And all the anglers that fish them. Joe Nash, what's up, Matt? And good evening to everyone. What's up, Joel? Danny Rock, nice shell cracker. Did they bite the stump bug? Ha ha ha. Danny Rock, LaGrange, Georgia, West Point Lake. So no, we did not catch those shell crackers on a stump bug. We caught those shell crackers on a redworm. Okay, so went camping last weekend. Took the family camping. Went. My son obviously is anytime he's near water, he wants to fish. So Brantley's like, "Dad, can we go fishing? We go fishing. We go fishing." I bugged me all day. Finally, I was like, "No, we can't go in the middle of the day and go fishing, son. It's hotter than crap out there in the middle of the sun on that dock, and we're gonna wait till this evening." So it got to be about, I don't know, 7 o'clock or so, 6:30. I said, "Come on, let's go fishing." He was all about it. So we went out there, threw some floats out with some red worms on them, and just started busting shell crackers left and right. And I did not expect that. So I think we caught 20-ish, somewhere in that range. I didn't count, but I think we caught about 20 shell crackers, some bluegill, some other. I think we caught one pumpkin seed and a couple other fish. But yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of fun and caught some huge shell crackers. So that was a bonus to our weekend. But nope, those were caught. I'm not afraid to use live bait. Those were caught on a redworm. T-Bane, hello from Indianapolis. What's going on? ACT announced the buyout by Blake Jackson today. It is changing hands regularly. Yeah, I think Blake will hold on to it for a while since he owns everything else. We'll see. Larry Merrick, hey, glad you're back. Me too, Larry. Me too. It's good to be back. So we're back in the saddle. Season's getting ready to kick off again, and we're going to be hitting it hard and heavy. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Okay. So Wednesday nights are going to be fun again for a little while, and we've got a lot of good things coming up. Joel Nash, need help. Okay. Need help with? What you got? Sean Bradford, I agree with your thoughts. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. Eddie Toon, Live Scope. What is that? Yeah. Um, I think the smiley face means you're joking. Um, would be nice to have those things. You know, I, I almost did a video this last week on this subject, but I left it alone. And we'll talk about it on the live because that's what lives are for. You and I, or you guys and I, to talk. So I will say this: Live Scope is a cool thing. It's a fun tool. It has changed crappie fishing. Anybody that tells you live scope hadn't changed crappie fishing just doesn't have live scope yet. So live scope has changed crappie fishing. And again, crappie fishing at its core started with the solidarity, with the brotherhood or sisterhood, if you will, and the family value. Okay, is kind of how crappie fishing and where crappie fishing kind of lived is in that family realm of thinking, if you will. And when I first, well, let me go back and say it this way. Okay, let me start over. So when I started East Tennessee Crappie Club, I was 25, 6, 5. I was 25 years old when I started East Tennessee Crappie Club. And I know everybody's gonna be like, "Well, you ain't but 26 now." No, I'm 35. Okay, I'm 35 years old. All right. So 10 years ago, when I started East Tennessee Crappie Club, hang on a minute. Somewhere we got a super chat. Johnny Coots, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate it. That is a blessing to me in this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That will go back into my fishing and making great content for you guys and getting me on the water. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And it is good to see you back. I'm glad. Blah. Good to see you back. I'm glad to be back. Okay. So thank you, Johnny. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's my wife. 36 in a couple weeks. Yeah, I got a birthday coming up. That's right. I do. Thank you for throwing that out there. But again, Johnny, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. That's a blessing to me, and I don't take those lightly. So thank you for that blessing. Thank you. All right. So again, when I started East Tennessee Crappie Club, I was 25, and I was the youngest person there by 15 years, at least. You know what I'm saying? So, and we had, I think the first year of the club, we had 80 members, 70. I think it was 70 or 80 members the first year. And I was the youngest by like 15 years. Okay. So, and it continued that way I can remember having conversations with my fishing partner and others of how do we get more young people involved? How do we get younger guys involved in crappie fishing? And you just couldn't back then. I mean, you could not get a young person even to think about crappie fishing. It was absolutely no, not interested. I'm a bass fisherman. I'm going to go as fast as I can. I'm going to run and gun and throw baits this big with a rod this big around and a reel this big. And I'm going to go home with a sore shoulder at the end of the day. And that's what us teenagers did, right? And us 20-year-olds, us 30-year-olds, that was what they did. I mean, that was the way they fished and how they chose to fish. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is. I'm an old bass fisherman, but there has been a shift since LiveScope came out. Now you're starting to see a lot of these young kids, this younger crowd, if you will, that are starting to join the world of crappie fishing. And there's nothing wrong with it. Please don't shoot me down when I'm preaching good. But I'm starting to see a lot of well, I guess I'll just call it what it is. There's a lot of this cutthroat atmosphere coming into crappie fishing. There's a lot of this, you know, just contention, strife, drama, okay, for lack of better words, that are now being brought into the world of crappie fishing. And I'm not going to say, well, yeah, I am. I'm going to say it. It's all bad. It sucks. I don't like it. I mean, that's part of the reason I got away from bass fishing is because of the mentality, the cutthroat atmosphere, the, absolutely, if you look in somebody's boat or you think you looked in their boat before the tournament started, they're gonna like, you know, um, I just, I don't know. It's one of those things where, tomato, tomato for those. But I'm old school crappie fishing, man. I love it. I love to help. I love to teach. I love to, spread, as much, for lack of better terms, again, spread the love, man. Spread the love. I mean, I love to just help and help people grow in their fishing and learn more and be able to catch more fish and be able to go out there and have fun. And LiveScope does do that. LiveScope allows you to go out and have fun. And look, I've got LiveScope on my rig, and I've got one on the boat, I've got one in the floor, and I got a spare sitting over here. So I get it. Um, and I like my LiveScope. I love my LiveScope. I mean, it does great things. It shows me things that we didn't know back in the day, like crappie won't feed down, bull. I'll watch them take a jig and go woo and eat it. So crappie will go down to get a jig. If they're hungry and they want a jig, they'll go down and get the jig. So there's a lot of things with LiveScope that we've learned, but I hate to kind of see where crappie fishing's going, and it worries me. I'm not going to sit here and say crappie fishing's doomed. I don't believe that. But I do believe that as crappie anglers, as anglers, period, whether you're a bass fisherman or a crappie fisherman, it should be about you guys, and it should be about other people, and it should be about helping, and it should be about, growing the sport more so than, uh, just having something to talk about and having people to put down. You know what I mean? I mean, uh, love the competition. Love to compete. I'm a competitor. I love to compete. But at the end of a tournament, I'll never look down at anyone, ever, ever, for any reason. Um, and that hurts me to see some of that. That hurts to see that there are some people, and there are those out there in the crappie world now that would make someone feel inferior or just cause drama to cause drama. So anyway, I'm getting off that subject. I'm not going to say it's because of LiveScope, but I am going to say there's a heck of a lot more young people in the industry now than there used to be, and that brings the good and the bad. So a lot of times you got to take the bad with the good, and crappie fishing is changing. So for those that I've seen like 4 million comments over the last month of how LiveScope has changed crappie fishing. And there's a lot of people that say, well, if you don't want to use it, don't buy it. And that's right. I mean, if you don't want to use it, don't use it. And there's people that say, well, I can't stand the way it's changed crappie fishing. It has. Yeah, it has, unfortunately. But you go with the flow. You take the good with the bad, and you move on. That's what we do. And we go fish. Um, used to, it was about going out and catching fish. Now it's about going out who can catch the biggest fish. And, that's what tournaments are about, going and catching the biggest fish. But, it's not all about catching the biggest fish. It's also about having fun. It's also about teaching and growing and helping the sport. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to stop that soapbox. Let's see. I'm going to go back up here because I skipped some people. Daryl from Birchwood. What's going on, Daryl? Oh, Joel, you need help on Loudon. Joel, if you fish somewhere between Louisville Point and Fort Loudon Dam on brush, you'll find some fish. Hey, there you go. That's helpful. You didn't say what kind of help or how much or how specific. You just said you needed help. All right, Joseph, hit that like button. Thank you, buddy. Dan, yeah, hey, there's Dan. Time for videos pre-fishing Dale Hollow. Yeah, I'll put videos out there pre-fishing Dale Hollow. That don't bother me a bit. I'll tell you this right now. Um, there's absolutely no identifying landmarkers on Dale Hollow. So I can film on Dale Hollow all day and y'all aren't going to know where I'm at because it's just woods. I mean, there is absolutely no identifying markers on Dale Hollow other than maybe some buoys in a few areas or a couple marinas. But other than that, I could be in any pocket on Dale Hollow that has no identifying factors in it and you would not know where it is. I mean, if you can tell the difference between trees, you're better than I. Okay. So, yeah, I'll pre-fish Dale Hollow and put it out there. That don't bother me. Eddie said, still have a 398 SI. Lots of laughs. Hey, I'm still running. Hey, here's my spares. I got my spares right here. Look, here's some of my spares. I don't know how many of these units I have anymore. Okay. These are HDS Gen 1s. Okay. Gen 1s, guys. Look, you can tell a Gen 1. Where's it at? That's how you can tell a Gen 1 and the Lowrance. If this is white, it's a Gen 2. If it's black, it's a Gen 1. All right. So I still run HDS Gen 1 units. This is a 10, right? Yep. This is a 10. And I've got 2 more 10s, and I think I've got 5 8s. Yeah, I have a problem. I buy all the Gen 1s that I can find because I absolutely love them. And when people get in my boat and look at them, they absolutely love them too. So, in my opinion, I can see better on those than I can on the new live units. It's just my opinion. But, hey, if it works, it works. Ashley, what's going on? Josh Sanders, hello. Heidi Clark, hi Matt. How are you, Laura, and the boys? We are great. We are doing well. Everyone's doing well. Just glad to be back. Sean Bradford, well said. Thank you. I think you're talking about the whole crappie fishing conversation. I think. But thank you. Eddie, hopefully they will change with age and friends. And I've always been told that I have an old soul. I've always been told that, and I've always kept older company in my life growing up. I can remember when I was back in my teens and early 20s. I always had friends that were older than me. And I always was told that I had an old soul. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I didn't fit in the bass world, and I fit in better in the crappie industry, I guess, maybe because maybe I'm just an old soul. I don't know. But, again, crappie fishing was slower paced, more laid back, more lethargic, and it was just fun at its core. It was fun, entertaining. It's a family type atmosphere, and I do fear that we're losing sight of a lot of that in today's new crappie world. Okay. But guys like myself can still hold on to some of that. All right. And we can still do those kinds of, fish those kinds of techniques. We can still, put the live scope down and go troll for a day or go pull crankbaits or go pull planer boards or just slip float over a brush pile with a minnow. So however you like to do it, it doesn't matter. As I was telling somebody the other day, live scope isn't the only technique now. There's still other techniques and there's still other ways to catch fish. And I love each and every one of them. I wish I still dock shot as much as I used to. I don't shoot docks as much as I used to, but um, we'll get back into a lot of that. Used to. I felt like you guys were getting sick of watching videos where I was dock shooting, to be honest with you. I did like 20 videos in a row. Well, I don't think it was that many, but I probably did 6 or 8 in a row where I did nothing but shot docks. And there was people that were like, can you do something else, please? And I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll do something else. So anyway, we need to get back to that. We need to do a few dock shooting videos. All right. Jimmy Pratt. Most of the fish from Lucille Point to the dam have sore lips. That's funny. Heidi Clark. Laura, nice to hear. Everything is good with you. I am great. Oh, Heidi and Laura are talking. All right. Hopefully they will change their ways with age and good friends. We got that. Matt, Crosby, Texas. James, what's going on? East Tennessee Crappie Club has a bunch of great guys. Yeah, there really is. A bunch of good people, other than that Jimmy Pratt character. All right. Joel Nash said drone is a new way to find waypoints. Yeah, that's funny. George Hamby. Love shooting docks. It is such a fun bite. Man, it really is. I mean, you shoot underneath a dock and you can watch that line just, it's so much fun. They hit it on the fall, or, you're reeling underneath the dock. You set the hook. Those fish are running back and forth. They're running around pilings or boats or whatever it is underneath there that they're running around. I mean, it is a really fun bite. Heidi said, I like to see your dock shooting videos. Well, thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. We'll have to get out there and do some. Joseph said, I have been crappie fishing for more than 40 years without live scope, but I do love my live scope now. Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking live scope. I love my live scope. You know, I have absolutely nothing bad to say about my live scope other than it has changed crappie fishing. Okay. So when you see all these posts out there on social media, which I have seen a lot of because I'm up late at night looking at all these posts and reading all these things people are going through and saying and talking about and carrying on with. And, I stay up in what's going on in the crappie world. That's kind of my job. I mean, I'm on YouTube, so I got to keep up with it. There's a lot of comments now that are just causing just all kinds of controversy. And, I guarantee you I could go wired for crappie tonight and I could put on there live scope. Love it, hate it. What's your thoughts and why? And I guarantee you by next Wednesday, there'd be 450 comments on there. And half of them would be telling guys that if they use live scope, they're weenies. And the other half would be saying, you're just mad because you can't afford one. It just, why are we doing that? Why are we talking to each other that we're all crappie fishermen? We're supposed to all be a crappie fishing family. That's how crappie fishing was birthed. It was about guys going out there and just having fun pan fishing. It wasn't about anything other than that. And at the root of everything, at the root of every tournament, and the root of every crappie fishing trip, it should be fun. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Whether you're a live scoper or you're a troller or you're a minnow fisherman, it should all be about having fun pan fishing. Period. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it alone. But I've been reading so much of it lately, it's just like, God, mind-boggling. All right, Joel Nash, it's all about the thump. That's right. It's all about the thump, baby. Joseph Thaxton, so true. You're so right. Yeah, well, I get one right every once in a while, but that's my one. All right, so one thing we got to talk about is, you guys can't really see it back there, but right back up there, that little fish back there hanging on the wall is last year before last. Yeah, not this past year, but the year before. That's the Angler of the Year plaque right back there, hanging on my board. Well, this past year, we got another one. We backed it up. 21, 22, East Tennessee Crappie Club Angler of the Year. Went back to back. That's exciting. Couldn't have done it at all without my wife, first and foremost, because my wife allows me to go fish those every month. So couldn't do it without her, no doubt. And could not have even thought about doing it without, first of all, East Tennessee Crappie Club and all the members that fish it. So if there wasn't a club to go fish, I wouldn't have a plaque to hold up, right? So thank you to everybody that I fished against this past year. You guys are awesome. And it wasn't easy to win this past year, let me tell you. Actually, Joel Nash and his partner came really close to knocking me off of the podium, you know. So I think it was down to the last tournament. It was kind of me and him neck and neck. I think he was like 6 or 8 points behind me, something like that, Joel, something around in there. And at the end of the day, when the dust cleared, I still landed on top of the podium, but could have went either way. Okay. So a lot of fun. Had a great year. Felt like I could have fished a lot better last year than I did, but I won one tournament last year. Finished second. I don't know. I don't remember. 3 or 4 times, I guess. But stayed up there in the top of the field. Got enough points to win Angler of the Year. So, that was awesome. Had a lot of fun. Can't wait for this year. It's getting ready to kick off here in 2 weeks. And we're going to try to go 3. We're going to try to three-peat it. We're going to try to put 3 of these up there, 3 in a row, okay? So we'll see what happens. You never know. A lot of fishing left in the year. So a lot of fishing left. Hadn't even started yet. So we got a whole year ahead of us. Figure out where we're going to land. But we're looking forward to it, no doubt. Can't wait to fish against everybody again. Can't wait to get out there, just see everybody again, hang out, talk, chit-chat, and rag you guys and go back and forth and just have fun. I mean, again, that's what it's all about. And when we go to those tournaments, we have fun. There ain't no doubt about that. So generally I'm first one to show up, last one to leave. And generally it's guys like Ashley and Josh and Joel and Jimmy and Scott and Neil. And, we gotta like kick each other to leave, So we're all standing around in the parking lot talking at the boat ramp after the weigh-in, and it's like, all right, guys, we gotta go. And it's like, yeah, but hold on a minute. So tell me again, how did you do that? What did you do today? Because I couldn't find nothing over 1.5 pounds. So what did you do? I mean, it never fails. So we're there till all hours of the night or all hours of the afternoon. I guess because everybody does have like 2-hour drives to get home sometimes, and we leave early enough to do that. But it's a lot of fun. We have a really good time, and it's all about just having fun and ragging each other. So looking forward to that for sure. I'm going to be filming some tournaments this year. I don't know if you guys enjoy the tournament videos or you don't. The tournament videos are a little bit different. I don't talk to you guys as much, but that's because I'm kind of in my frame of mind. I'm kind of, trying to think about what I need to do instead of just doing it. A lot of times when I get out there and I'm filming, I just go out there, have fun, film a show for you guys, and I just do. And I probably stay on some spots a little bit longer than I would if I was in a tournament. So, if I'm out there fun fishing for you guys and making a video, then I may try to sit there and get a fish or 2 to bite. But, I have to stay kind of on point when I'm fishing tournaments, and I have to kind of stay in my own brain because, I have a rule that I set for myself, and, I kind of have to keep my mind frame set on my rules. That way I can just keep progressing through my tournament day. So it is a little bit different. The tournament videos are. That's kind of one thing that Josh and Jimmy called. I did a video on Chick in a tournament, and they both called, and they said, man, we noticed something in your video. And I said, what's that? They said, you didn't make a move without purpose. Like there was no wasted motion. Like every motion you made had purpose. And I was like, yeah, well, I didn't pay any attention to that, but I'm glad that you caught that out of the video. And they're like, yeah, a lot of times we won't fish that way. We don't do that, but we noticed that in your video. And I was like, well, cool. That's awesome. I didn't know I did it, but okay. So I hope you guys like those because we're going to do some videos. We're going to do some tournament videos for sure because I will be fishing several tournaments by myself this year. My partner is coaching his son's little league team, and the first couple of tournaments. So we kind of lucked out, or I kind of lucked out, because our age group, all of our games for our baseball games are during the week in the evenings, but his games are on Saturdays. So there's going to be a couple tournaments that he's going to have to miss because of baseball games. And then, he'll be with me some after that. But we will be filming, or I will be filming some of my tournaments this year. So it'll be a lot of fun. Okay. It will be a lot of fun. They forget LiveScope doesn't make them bite. I see that comment all over the place. And that's true. It really doesn't. But does it help? Absolutely it helps. But it doesn't make them bite. You're right. Yeah, tournaments are a blast. I just love getting whipped by you. That's not true. That's not true. I only won one tournament last year. Now we stayed up in the top. That's for sure. But I only won one. So, and there was somebody. I don't know that there was any repeat winners last year. I think maybe Scott Neal won too, but I don't. Other than them, I don't think there's any repeat winners last year. The playing field's just so level. I mean, it's anybody's game any day. I mean, that's the truth. Congratulations. I've learned a ton and much more confident and met a lot of great guys. Otherwise would have never met. That's the truth. Yeah, Jimmy, those fish just came swimming by. Yeah, we've heard that one before. Or how about this one? We were out there idling around and just stumbled across a brush pile and it just had all 3-pounders on it. I don't know. Right? yeah. We just happened to stumble across one brush pile and caught a limit of fish and won the tournament. Well, okay, yeah, well, I believe that. Forward-facing sonar has changed all of fishing. It has. It hasn't changed some styles of fishing as much as others, but it has. It really has. And you're starting to see a lot of these younger guys that are really doing well and really starting to. I guess knock off some of these old seasoned guys that have been doing it and they're setting their ways and they have been for so long. And some of these younger guys are coming in and like, okay, it's our turn. We've got this technology and we know how to use it. So back up and watch. What do they say? What's that phrase they say? Redneck's last famous last words or something. Hold my beer. Watch this. Whatever that saying is. But yeah, some of you guys would know that one better than I. But it has changed a lot, and it's not all bad. Okay, and I guess I'm saying we don't have to fight about it. Everyone has their right to fish how they want to fish. And if you want to fish with a live scope, you can. If you don't have to. I do it both ways because I still love to fish other ways as well as with my live scope. Matt, thank you for doing what you do. I ordered my stowaway mount and the pole for my fishing specialties. Thank you again. You're welcome, buddy. I'm glad you saved yourself some money. Hopefully you used those discount codes and saved yourself some money. So you're very welcome. George, what are your rules? So rules are very simple, okay? Registration from 6:30 to 7 at the ramp. 7 o'clock is a brief meeting. We go over every rule at the meeting very quickly. It's about a 5-minute meeting. And then we release everybody from the ramp. Nobody can start fishing until 7:30. 7:30, lines go in. 7, live fish. Have to bring them back alive. You can weigh your biggest 7. You can keep your state allotted limit, but you have to bring your biggest 7 to the scales alive. Okay. You can use live bait or artificial bait. You can fish anywhere on Fort Loudon that's accessible by boat. You cannot get out and say, I want to walk over here, in this marina and fit. No, you got to stay in the boat. You got to be accessible by boat. Cannot leave Loudon. Cannot go through the canal into Tellico. Don't know why you would, because you're going to catch bigger fish on Fort Loudon. But you can't go to Tellico and fish. You got to stay on the bridge side of Loudon on the canal. Okay. And cease fishing at 3:30. 3:30 lines out. 4:30 you've got until 4:30 to get back to the weigh-in line. You can trailer or launch from the ramp, the designated weigh-in ramp. So you don't have to put in at Ish Creek. It's launching out of Ish Creek, but you can trailer to another ramp if you so choose, or you can put in at Ish Creek and go from there. Okay. That's pretty much the gist of it. There's a couple other rules, but that's the gist of the rules. $40 entry fee per boat. Be a member of the club. You have to pay $40 for membership fee, which everybody had to renew before this year started. You can renew at the tournament. You can pay your membership fee at the tournament, but $40 per person for membership fee, and then $40 per the boat for the tournament. Everyone hit that like button. Smash that like button, guys. Please. It's been so long since I've been on here. I need some likes. I need you guys' support. C219 Troll. I'm going to try and record my tournaments also. Really want to see the decision making and stress. Yeah, I'm not going to say I get stressed out. I don't too much get stressed out at tournaments. I take that back. Because I run the tournament, because I have to be there early and get everybody signed up and registered and on the board and get everything kind of rocking and rolling. It is a little stressful at the beginning for me. But once I get out there on the lake and I put 7 fish in the boat, I'm done. I mean, my stress is just gone. From there on out, it's just about culling. Now, there has been some stressful tournaments for me. Chickamauga, I won Chick last year, but that was a very stressful event. I had no idea I was going to win that tournament. I didn't think I'd even come close, to be honest with you. And then to pull it off at the end, Joel Nash actually called it. When I pulled back into the ramp, Joel was sitting there, and he's like, "How'd you do?" I said, "Man, I stunk." I said, I struggled to catch good fish. I mean, I caught 350 fish. I just struggled to catch big fish. And he said, "Well, what do you got?" And I opened the live well up. He looked down at my live well, and he went, "Good Lord, you won the tournament." I said, "Nah, ain't no way." He said, "I ain't seen a fish that big all day." He said, "Good Lord, we caught 300. Not one of them's that big." He said, "You won the tournament." I said, "No." I said, "Joe," I said, "You don't know what this lake can produce, man." I said, I just thought to myself, "No, there ain't no way." And then ended up weighing in and won the tournament. And I was like, "Holy crap." I was like, and Joe come up, he said, "I told you, man. I told you." I said, "Well, I guess you were right." So that was a very stressful tournament for me. And actually, Rusty, if he's still on here, he pulled up beside me at about 3:00, and I was laid out in the front of the boat, just laying there on the deck. And he's like, "Matt, you over there?" I looked over the side of the boat. I was like, "Yeah, I'm here." He's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Man, I'm exhausted. I hadn't eaten anything today. I hadn't drank anything today." I said, "I just realized when my head started hurting and I could feel my heart pounding in my chest that I hadn't eaten or drank anything." And I'm laying here trying to eat and drink because I literally am dizzy and I'm exhausted and I'm stressed. That was a stressful tournament. So I do have some stressful tournaments, but for the most part, when I put 7 fish in the boat and I know I can weigh 7 fish, I'm good after that. But that's kind of my thought process and how I approach tournament. Once I put 7 in the boat, I'm whatever. As long as I can put 7 on the scales. All right. What is the aquarium tank behind you on the wall? Well, that's my aquarium. It's got a goldfish in it. I wanted to put crappie in it, but my son told me no. So we originally put the aquarium up, and I thought to myself, "Hey, I'll put some crappie in it, and we'll have some wired for crappie. We'll have a pet crappie or 2 in there." And my son was like, "No, Dad, I don't want to do that. That's my fish tank, and we're putting pretty fish in it." I was like, "Oh, well, that's great." So we went to the store, spent $60 on pretty fish, and every one of them died. So there you go. And I can keep 7 crappie alive in my live well all day long, but I can't keep nothing alive in that thing over there. Okay, until I threw so much oxygen in it. Now I keep fish alive in there now because I threw so much oxygen in there that they literally are high on oxygen right now, and they stay alive. And I clean it out like I'm supposed to, and I feed them like I'm supposed to. So I've learned how to keep them alive in there after I killed $60 worth of fish. But so we went to the carnival after the $60 worth of fish died. My son won a little goldfish at the carnival. And it's like one of those cheap knockoff goldfish that don't look like a goldfish, but it's gold. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a gold shiner is what it looks like. So he wins this thing on the ping pong toss at the carnival, and we put that fish in there, and it's been in there for like 6 months or 8 months. It's been in there for a long time. So that is the goldfish aquarium. And if that goldfish ever dies, we will put crappie in it. But I'm not going to kill it intentionally because my son will be mad at me. So He named the goldfish something out of Sonic the Hedgehog and loves him to death. So that's his goldfish. But that's what that is. You were thinking I was going to say it's a minnow tank or a crappie tank. Should be. You have to watch that on the color of the faceplate because Gen 1 and Gen 2 use the same faceplate. You can tell it's startup screen. They used the same faceplate, but the colors were different. Okay. Gen 1, like I said, the Lowrance on the Gen 1 is black. The Lowrance on the Gen 2 is white. Always. Always different color on the Lowrance. Now, these faceplates are removable. Okay, these are removable faceplates. So if somebody really wanted to, they could take that faceplate off and swap it out and call it a Gen 1 and call it a Gen 2, and it's really a Gen 1. So if they swap a faceplate out, yes. But on a Gen 1, it's always got a black Lowrance. Okay, and if it's a Gen 2, it always has a white Lowrance. Always. And that's the quickest way to tell, other than startup. You can tell at startup too, sure. Absolutely you can. All right. Ooh. Oh. I'm sorry. George. Okay. Sorry. Your personal rules for yourself, like mindset and things like that. So, okay. Wow, you're going to put me on the spot, huh? Man. Okay. I guess I'm going to tell myself. Am I going to tell myself? I guess I'm giving away some secrets. Okay. So my personal tournament rules are pretty simple. My first rule is don't sweat anything until you got 7 in the boat. That's my first rule. 7 in the boat. Okay. 7 over 10 inches in the boat. That's my first rule. First and foremost. Now, the name of the game is catch the biggest fish. Okay. But the name of my game is put 7 in the boat. That's my first and foremost. So I guess I'm going to kind of tell you that I have two different mindsets. One is my first mindset going into the day is put 7-10 inches in the boat. Okay. Once that happens, then it shifts completely. And George, you're going to put me on the spot. All right. So when I say put 7 in the boat, I'm hitting very first thing in the morning. I'm hitting my high production spots. All right. The spots that produce the most fish. Now, those spots will pay off every once in a while and you'll catch a big fish. But after that, okay, if I find a spot, so once I switch over from 7 to I want the big ones, I'm looking for those ones, those twos. My mindset completely changes and what I'm looking for completely changes. Okay. So I don't look for those brush piles that are loaded with fish. If I see a brush pile that's slum loaded of fish, I leave. I don't even fish it. Okay. I'm looking for that 1 or that 2. I'm looking for onesie twosies. I'm not looking for fish anymore. I'm looking for loners. And that's it. That's all I'm looking for. And I tell myself, if I pull up to a pile and there's 300 fish on it. Now, there's always the exceptions to the rule. Okay. Days that are tough, like Douglas last year in October was extremely tough. It was a hard bite. There was fish loaded up on everything and they were dead and you couldn't get them a bite. So, those are kind of exceptions to the rule. You got to fish where the fish are. Okay. But at the same time, I completely have a different mindset after I get those first 7 fish in the boat. So then I'm looking for those onesie twosies. And I never force a fish to bite. 2 casts that I know now that Live Scope's here, 2 casts that I know that fish saw that jig and he ain't hitting it. I'll give him another color. 2 casts, he ain't hitting it. I'll give him one last color. 2 casts, he don't hit it. I'm gone. Okay. I'm not hanging around. I am not wasting my time. It's all about time management, and I'm not wasting my time on a fish that's not willing to play ball. Okay. If they're not willing to play, I'm not willing to wait. All right. Somebody may come by and catch that fish 2 minutes later after I leave, but I ain't willing to wait. I'm going to the next one. Um, that's where I will tell you again with live scope, it has changed crappie fishing, and now it's about, running and gunning. We're back to bass mindset. Run and gun, run and gun, run and gun. Get to as many places as you can during the day, and increase your odds to catch more and bigger fish. Um, so that's kind of my mindset for the day. I have a lot of other mindsets, and I have a lot of other rules that I set for myself, and we could probably sit here and go through most of them, but those are the main ones. I'll never force a fish to bite. If I catch more than 2 little fish, I'm gone. I'm not going to sit there and catch. If I can't sit on a pile and catch fish that'll cull, I'm not going to continue to catch them. So if I have, let's say, 7.5 pound fish, 10.5 pounds. If I can't sit on that pile and catch a fish over 1.5 pounds, why am I staying there? All right. I will not stay on a pile if I can't cull and move up. Will not. I don't care if I'm having fun. That's the difference in going out and filming a video for you guys, or taking my kid fishing, or just going out to fun fish and fishing a tournament. I'm not staying someplace that I can't increase my weight, period. I'm not going to do it. Okay. So, and if I don't feel like I can increase my weight, I'm leaving. I trust my gut. I always tell myself, trust your gut. If I pull up to a spot and I look on the live scope and I go, oosh, those look small, I'm trusting my gut. I'm not even going to make a cast. I trust my gut. And if I've pulled up to spots before. My partner and I have pulled up to spots before, and I've looked down at the screen. He's looked down at the screen. He goes, those are all little fish. And I go, nah, there's a good one in there. I just know there's a good one in there. It's got to be. And I'll make a cast. I'll catch a couple little ones. He's like, they're all little fish. And I'll make another cast, and I'll catch a 2-pounder. And he's like, where'd that one come from? And I'm like, I don't know. I just felt there was one down there. And he's like, I don't know how you do that. I trust my gut, okay? Sometimes my gut lies, or sometimes it don't work out. But I trust my gut. I've done this enough now, and I've fished enough tournaments that I feel like my gut feeling is something I need to listen to, so I trust it, okay? This is a big one, okay? I typically don't go back. I don't like to go back. I don't like to refish an area. Even if somebody says, well, I'll come back to that one later, you hear that all the time. Well, that one didn't bite right now, but I'll come back to him later. Nah, I'm not wasting my time to come back. There's plenty of stuff in the lake, plenty of fish out there to be had. I'm not coming back. Somebody may come by 10 minutes after I fish it and catch one. Oh, well, it just wasn't my day to catch that fish, but I'm not going back. That's a big one for me is, I can count on one hand the amount of times that I went back and culled a fish off something I'd already fished. I can count that on one hand. So that's a big one for me. Now, I'm done giving away stuff because I just gave away way too much tournament in 2 weeks. But those are some of the biggies for me. I will say this. If I find a color they like, I stick to it. Okay. Let's say I pull up on a brush pile and unless I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that they want something else. Let's say I pull up on a brush pile and they just wear white and chartreuse out. I go to the next pile and I can't get one to bite. It's not because of the color. It's because the fish there are lethargic. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There are active fish somewhere in your lake. That given time, that given day, there's active fish somewhere in that lake. If you're not on active fish, leave, go find active fish. Okay. That's a big one for me. Active fish. If I put a jig, if I catch 30 off a brush pile with white and chartreuse, and then I go to a pile and there's 30 sitting there, but I can't get one of them to bite on white and chartreuse, I'm gone. They're not active. I'm not going to go through 100 colors. I'm not going to make 250 casts. I'm moving, period. Trust my color. I trust my color. Once I identify a color, now there's days where you can't identify a color. They won't tell you what they want. They might hit pumpkin and chartreuse or grasshopper on this brush pile, and you may not get them a bite on that brush pile. You may pick up a purple and chartreuse, make one cast just to see, and get a bite, but don't get another one. So you might catch one on purple and chartreuse there, and then you may go to the next one, and they'll hit red and silver. And it's like, why did that happen? Why can't I find a color? And you'll just beat your head against the wall all day looking for a color. There's days like that. There's days where for no rhyme or reason or good cause that they just won't pick a color. And you have to jumble around a little bit. But 95% of the time, you'll be able to identify a color. And once I identify it, I stick to it, and I throw it on every brush pile. And if they don't bite, I'm gone to the next one. I don't monkey around. Now, that's it. I'm done. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to make a proper game plan while tournament fishing. Hope this makes sense. Well, it does, and I hope I answered your questions. That's kind of how I go into it. The mindset. Romero, what's going on? Todd Pell just read that the bass tournament's viewership is down because of anglers looking at the screen the whole time. I'd believe it, and that's why a lot of times, in my videos, I try to stand sideways too. I don't try to face my live scope for you guys. I don't want to sit there and face it and look at it. I'll face sideways, and I'll watch my jig go down. And then once my jig's down there, I use my live scope for depth. I don't use my live scope to see the fish bite. I will watch my jig fall until it gets in that strike zone that I'm looking for, and then I will fish my jig back. I'll leave the live scope, come back to my rod and my line, and I will fish that jig back to me and feel that bite. A lot of times, all I got to do is get it at the right depth, and then I'm good from there. Okay. So a lot of times that's how I try to fish for you guys. I don't want to sit there and stare at the screen. I know Larry Merrick's called me out on it a couple times. He's like, will you turn around? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't turn around, did I? So, I'm trying not to do that. But, I can see where, did you guys watch the MLF on Watts Bar? A lot of that on Watts Bar. A lot of that. Guys just staring at their screen constantly. And yeah, I can see where viewership would be down because I think a lot of times they get so entranced in that screen or trying to depict what it is they're seeing happening that they forget to conversate with you guys and they forget to talk to the people they're watching. So yeah, I can see that happening, and again, that'll all get better in time. Guys will start figuring out how to use this thing, and guys, start, kind of do like I'm talking about. You don't necessarily have to watch that fish hit. It's cool to watch it, but you don't have to. I mean, just get your bait down there where it needs to be, and then fish the way you always fished. And talk, be personable, say hello, tell people what you're doing. Put on a show, if you will. But yeah, I believe it. I believe viewership probably is down. I want to go fish as a kid. Thing lived 13 years, 100% true story. Well, I hope that's not going to be my true story because I'd like to use that tank for something other than a goldfish. But hey, if that's his childhood friend and he wants to keep his little goldfish, I'm good with it. Kids come first. Romero, Matt, should we start using smaller presentation for fall crappie bite? No. Smaller in the summer when they're finicky. Fall bite comes on, they're going to be hungry. They're going to be feeding. They're going to want a larger bait. Okay. So it would be the absolute opposite of that, in my opinion. I would use something a little larger profile. This fall is when I will not tear off the paddle tail on a stump bug. Turn off that paddle tail gives it a little bit smaller profile. It opens it up a little bit more. Doesn't appear as big of a bait with that beaver tail out of the center of a stump bug. So I'll actually start leaving that beaver tail in come fall because those fish are going to start looking for a little bit larger profile. Okay. Nathan Wood, what's going on from Wabash, Indiana? What's going on, Nathan? Matt, that is a solid plan. Limit first, always. From there, I'm like a feather in the wind for the culling time period. That was a great load of knowledge of nuggets. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for the question. Again, I'm not afraid of competition. I love the competition, and I would love to see each and every one of you guys come out there, compete, and kick my tail. I mean, I love it. I don't mind to lose. I don't mind to go home with my tail tucked between my legs. If I do, it pushes me harder. I just get that more in I guess in tune with myself and with my crappie fishing, and I start thinking, okay, what did I do wrong? And I say, okay, well, I know what I did wrong. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. Like Loudon last year for the Classic, we got stomped, and I went back and I sat down and I said, what did I do? Well, first of all, I went the wrong direction because Loudon, I tell you guys all the time, Loudon's the first one to spawn because it's the dirtiest lake in East Tennessee and it spawns first. And where'd I go? Up the river. Why? Why did I go up the river? You big dummy. The river had already spawned out. Every fish I caught that day was spawned out. And I even told myself for the tournament, I was like, I got to go catch spawners. I got to go catch fish that are pre-spawn, not post-spawn. And then I go up the river to shallow water, and I'm like, what are you doing, you dummy? Why'd you do that? So I don't mind it. I love to help, and I enjoy the challenge. I don't want to ever get to where I know everything, because then that's when I'm really going to get kicked and I'm really going to get killed. I'm always learning, just like you guys are always learning. So, hey, I love it. I hope it helps. I hope it helps Jimmy. I hope it helps Ashley. And I hope it helps Josh. And I hope it helps Rusty. I hope it helps everybody. So that's the way I approach it. And, hopefully the knowledge of nuggets helps. Chris Collins, find spots pre-fishing, hit them until the bite happens, and limit. Rotate spots for big fish to cull. Don't waste time on a non-active fish. So that's very good advice, except I don't typically like rotating spots. Very good advice, but me personally, I'm not going to rotate spots unless it's somewhere like Cherokee. I don't have a whole lot of spots in Cherokee. And I may run the entire, I may run my entire list of waypoints by 1 o'clock. If I hit half of them and I don't find anything, I may end up running out by 1 o'clock. Then I'm going back. Okay. If you run out of stuff, go back. If you have fresh stuff to go fish, please go fish fresh stuff. That's my opinion. That's my personal method of choice. But there are times when if you have a high enough crappie population or the fish are moving around enough. I mean, if you're fishing that day and you see fish moving all over the place and they're just constantly moving and they're not sitting still and it's just they're moving from here to there to that brush pile to this brush pile to that brush pile to this brush pile, then you could probably rotate spots. But those days aren't as common as you might think. Crappie get out there and suspend and just float a lot. They're not moving constantly. So, there's not as many days where they're actively moving spot to spot as there are, they're just setting. So I typically don't rotate spots, but, never hurts on those days. Everything you just mentioned is why I love crappie fishing. It can be such a challenge. When I see someone come in with good fish or good limits, I know they put in some hard work. Yeah, I'd like to say that. But we'll go back to the chick tournament where I hadn't fished down there in 12 months and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing or where I was fishing. When I go into a tournament like that where I haven't done any homework, it's just, relying on past knowledge and relying on the knowledge set that I have for that given day. And I really, I just showed up down there on Chick and I said, what time of year is it? Okay. What's the water temp? Okay. Historically, where have I been or where have the fish been? Okay. What do I know that might not be known by everybody? Okay. Okay. Put that in there. Put that in the bank. What's the current doing? How much water are they pulling? Put that in the bank. And then it's like the super collider, if you will. Those Big Bang Theory fans out there, you got that super collider up there in your brain. You're putting all this stuff in it, and it starts spitting stuff out. And you're like, okay, X equals Y. All right. So then you're putting all this stuff, and you're taking all this into account. And I literally did it the morning of the tournament. I mean, I'm literally idling away from the boat ramp, and I'm putting all this in my brain, and I'm thinking, okay. And yes, I did have an idea based on historics. I had an idea in my head, and I talked to guys about that before that tournament. I said, I historically have been able to be successful thinking outside of the box, and I've got some outside thoughts, and I feel like I can do some things that everybody else isn't going to do and be successful, but I won't really know until I show up that morning. Okay. And I showed up that morning, and the stars aligned, and all my super collider stuff lined up, and I caught good fish for that tournament. Okay. So there is a lot of thought that goes into it. There is a lot of change on the fly. I'll be honest. There's a lot of change on the fly. You got to be willing to change. You got to be willing. Just because you pre-fished, and I'll talk about pre-fishing for a minute, okay? Just because you pre-fished the weekend before or the day before and you catch them a certain way, don't set that in stone, guys. You've always got to be willing to move, change, and drop something, okay? So you get out there, you fish half a day, and you got 3 in the live well. It's time to make a drastic change. It's time to say, forget this. It ain't working. I'm tired of fishing deep. They were deep last week. Got to be somewhere else. Let's go shallow, all right? And start working your way in. You've got to be willing to change on the fly, okay? At a moment's notice. What water temp will you turn on fall bite? Yesterday, bite was slow and soft. Not yet. Fall bite is reverse of the spring bite. So spring, those fish, 72 is perfect spawning temperature, or peak, not peak, but prime spawning temps, okay, for white crappie. White crappie, 72 degrees. Black's a little cooler than that, but we'll use whites. All right, so 72 degrees. When it hits 74, it's turning summer pattern. It's going from spring to summer. When it hits 74, 75. On the way back down, once it hits 75, 74, that's when I consider fall bite to start, okay? 75, 74. It's just the reverse of spring. So till you get those 75, 74s, those mid-70s, still summer bite. Show us your favorite rig setup. Okay. Hang on. I gotta find one. Okay. So, favorite setup. This is a 6.5 foot. Let's see if I can get it in there. That's a 6.6 medium fast ACC crappie stick. Okay. Got a Fluger Try-On, size 25 reel, Bonehead B-Power braid, 12-pound braid in orange. Okay. And on this rod, now, my setup is the same, but my jig head may be a different weight. This is a 1/4 ounce. Okay. And this thing has been eat up. All right. So this is a 1/4 ounce, 1/4 ounce head. That is a bonehead tackle stump bug in black and chartreuse, or nightstick is what they call it. Okay. That is my go-to bait. A bonehead tackle stump bug is my go-to. Everybody knows that. It's no secret. Every tournament I won last year and every tournament I won the year before was on a stump bug in some shape, form, fashion, or color. Okay. This one is absolutely eat up. I don't know if you guys, see if I can get it to focus. This one's eat to pieces. But that is my go-to, and that braid is tied straight to the jig head. Now, when I'm fishing for you guys, or I'm on a guide trip, or I'm just out fun fishing, I'm tying straight to the jig head with my braid. Okay. When I'm fishing a tournament, I do tie a fluorocarbon leader. Do I believe that it makes a difference? Nah, on average, probably not. But if it makes a difference on that one fish in a tournament, why not? Right? It's an extra process, but why not? So that is my go-to, a bonehead tackle stump bug on some type of jig head, whether it be a 1/4, 3/16. Depends on how deep I'm fishing. If I'm fishing shallower than 10 feet, I'm on a 32nd. If I'm 10 to 15, I'll be on a 16th. If I'm over 15 to 20, I'll be like a 3/16. And then if I'm over 20, or I'm fishing open water, if I'm casting to open water fish with live scope, it's a 1/4 ounce. Okay. So that is my setup. For dock shooting, I use a 6-foot ACC crappie stick. I like the 6-footer for shooting docks. But the 6.5 is my brush rod. My casting rod is the 6.5 footer. Ricky M, late to the party, but here. What's going on, buddy? Matt, how can I send you a picture I took on my Garmin 93? Shoot it to my email, info@wiredforcrappie.com. info@wiredforcrappie.com. Yeah, I'm sure it is, Ashley. I'm sure. Um, let's see. So, again, tournament season getting ready to kick off. East Tennessee Crappie Club 2 weeks. Going to be back in the swing of tournaments. My wife is super excited. She loves it when I'm gone all day, coming home late, and I'm tired, grumpy. But I am excited to get back in the swing of it because it has been way too terribly long. And I'm excited to get a slowdown for a little bit. I know I say tournament season is slow down, but it kind of is because the kids are back in school. You kind of get back in your routine. Summers are tough because, kids are doing so much and we're running all over the place, and it's no rhyme or reason with times. And, tournament season, kids back in school kind of gets back to a routine of some sort for us. So it's a little bit easier to deal with and a little bit more laid back, lax for us, which is great. And it's just a little bit, I need some time just to get out, fish, see everybody, and just get back in it hard. So hot and heavy, but I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely stoked. We're going to get this hung back up, or not hung back up, but hung up over here with the other one. Super excited about the Angler of the Year again. Thank you to everybody that fished last season. Couldn't have done it without you guys, obviously, because if you guys weren't fishing, there would be no Angler of the Year. So really, really super excited about it. Thank you again from everybody. A lot of great anglers, and I'm blessed to pull that one off last year for sure. So We've been on now. Thank you for your help and your time. Have a good week. Yep, been on here now for about an hour and 20, so we're going to call it. I appreciate you guys for watching, as always. Make sure you share the lives, talk to people about it. Let's see if we can get people back on here, because we definitely didn't get as high tonight as we normally do, but that's because I've been out, and that's probably my fault. People aren't watching for the lives anymore. They probably think that I died or decided not to do them anymore. But no, we're back in it, baby. We're going to get back in it. Back in it every Wednesday and be able to see you guys. I love seeing you guys every Wednesday and just saying hi, seeing how you guys are doing, and telling you guys how it's going down here with Wired. So, as always, guys, God bless. We will see you on the next one, and watch out for the video coming this Monday at 6 o'clock, okay? And then live next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So, as always, we'll catch you on the next one. See you guys.